Alright, so here we are outside of a local bike shop, kicking off this, hoping for 100+ mile ride this morning. Sucked, wanted to get out of here a little earlier so I could wrap up my training before noon or 1 o'clock or whenever I'm gonna get done, not sure, but the weather had other plans, so I had to wait for the rain to die down, but just got done with a couple warm-ups, a couple done off camera, warm up my glutes, my quads a little bit more, but quick rundown of my bike setup. Nothing crazy, kind of some of my nutrition as well. Cervelo, Caledonia, just profile designs, clip-on aero bars, little torpedo water bottle. Honestly, it's amazing. Allowing me to carry a lot more water since I can't mount anything off the back of my seat since it's slammed all the way forward, as well as have all my spares in there, tubes, multi-tool, chain, kind of everything I need. My 2 bottles, these are about 2.5 scoops each of raw fuel, so roughly 60-70 grams of carbs each. I'm gonna have to stop about halfway and refuel at a 7-Eleven. It's kind of a good midway point. I might even have to hit it on the way back, depending on where I'm at and what I've consumed. Also, I have 2 of the BPN Go Gels, berry flavored, non-caffeinated. I do have the caffeinated, but don't need it yet. Maybe on my longer brick workouts, I may do like a mile or so after. But we're just gonna get it started here in this rain. Gonna have to be a little bit careful, but always making sure have my lights. Got headlight there. And then on the back, I always have this, even if it's bright outside, because Florida drivers are crazy. 90% of my riding's on the trail. Even on the trail though, you'd be surprised at it can be kind of sketchy, and old people on their bikes, it's great to see them out there, but sometimes they're lacking some spatial awareness. But this is the setup, and probably will check in when refueling at the 7-Eleven that's kind of about 40 miles in, 35-40 miles in, and see how we're feeling, hoping the winds don't pick up this afternoon like they're supposed to. But knowing my luck, we may not have elevation in Florida, but we sure as heck do have sweet headwinds, so hoping for the best there. But either way, gonna get it done, doesn't really matter, just makes my life a little bit easier. So here we go. Here we are, out back at the 7-Eleven. Have no idea, I'm about an hour and a half in. Stopped to refuel, grabbed one of these 7-Eleven replenishes, way better than a Gatorade and cheaper. And of course, no long ride is complete without these. Went with the blue pack, very berry, first time trying it, so we'll see how this goes. Definitely one of the highlights of these long rides. Put that replenish in one of my bottles, refilled that with just regular water. Gnarly headwinds on the way out, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, on the way back they're still blowing in the same direction, so I fly on the way back, because I jokingly said if I can finish this ride in under 5 hours and 19 minutes, which is what I did last weekend indoors, buy myself a new P series. So maybe this will be getting upgraded. It's definitely getting upgraded. I'm just waiting until I hit a few goals and see what happens, but I guess we'll see how the rest of these 70 miles shake out. Probably I'll have to stop up at Starkey Preserve, go to the bathroom once again. It's a good thing about being on the trail, definitely access to bathrooms. Do a few miles up there and head back. So we'll see how I do in these winds, because I know it's like a wind tunnel between here and that big Starkey Park, so we'll see. So here we are, Starkey Park. Wind blowing pretty good. It just kept pushing. As you can see, nobody on these roads. They're still a little bit wet from the morning showers, but those winds were still here, but the rain was gone, so just pushed through. Love hitting this park as my midway point. Good time to stop, hit the bathroom, keep going. we are done. Gonna wrap it up once I get this up and I'm not dying, but 100, not my best, not my worst, but more to come. So, just wrapped up 100 miles. It was, I think 5 hours, 11 minutes, give or take. Maybe I'll put a little overlay here. Overall, felt really good. Don't mind the hair. It's pretty wild. It's like 65, but I was sweating pretty good under that helmet. Really only stopped twice. Once for food and a little bit more liquid hydration. And then I stopped at about mile probably 55 and went to the bathroom. Heading out, there was a pretty good headwind with gusts. I guess it wasn't a solid headwind, which was nice. It was just gusts. So my thought process was push on the way out and just ride it back in and hang on for the way back. That didn't really work out because the winds kind of didn't flip directions, but definitely were not a tailwind on the way back, more of just a crosswind. So not really that much help. Started feeling pretty rough at about mile 80. So I did take another gel, slammed a bunch of my carb powder drink, and it brought me back significantly. I felt a little bit underfueled. I was probably doing about 70 grams of carbs an hour. Maybe it ended up being a little bit less since it was over 5 hours. At the end, I was still able to push on all the hills. Do I feel great? Absolutely not. That was brutal. I also learned that riding on the road, didn't ride on the road very much, only in small sections where there's a dedicated bike lane, is much safer than riding on the bike trail. I had to have almost crashed and or got hit 5 or 6 times just on my way back. Some lady was looking at her phone and her dogs were on a retractable leash and just sprinted out in front of me, not after me, but just out in front of me, completely oblivious. I was crossing a road. I had the walk sign because it was an actual stoplight, and the guy felt the need to honk at me and get very aggressive and yell at me, but I was just crossing the road. And like 3 separate occasions, people on e-bikes, like the pedal assist e-bikes, just decide that they're gonna not look and turn around. And being in the arrow position, not having brakes, is a little bit scary. I've definitely locked my brakes up quite a few times on that ride. And guess what? When I rode on the road in the bike lane, never felt unsafe once. Cars, safe distance, and also I wasn't stopping and starting and stopping and starting, which is the worst part. So I think my average could probably be higher, and overall just a little bit quicker if I didn't have to stop and start like 40 times. Maybe not 40, but definitely a lot. So we'll see. This is my last weekend for a couple weeks. I'm gonna be able to do my long outdoor ride, so definitely wanted to get this one in, but no brick today. I am going to go eat a lot of food. Maybe I'll go to the gym later. I need some food to refuel and get ready for tomorrow, get in the recovery mode. Tomorrow's probably gonna be a long run and maybe a recovery ride, just a quick 30-minute spend to try to loosen my legs after the run. We'll see if I have the time or the ability to do that. That is the plan, so we'll see. May make this a standalone. If it is, that was my first outdoor century ride. Definitely had some good elevation in there too, especially with the winds, but just kept pushing. If I wrap this up in a week wrap up, I guess we'll see how I do on this long run tomorrow. So wish me luck, and we'll see you soon. I guess 12 hours post, 24 hours post ride. Honestly, legs feel good, but surprisingly
not too sore. Legs were a little sore, a little tight. Really stretched the quads, hip flexors, get everything loosened up. And little update is, I just made sure to get home and try to get into recovery mode and stretch and Theragun and get ready for today's long run. So as of right now, gonna go out and try to go for about an hour and a half, give or take. Also depends what the weather has to say about it. So we'll see. Overall, first 100 miler in the books. Definitely outdoor 100 miler. Definitely going to be able to build off this though, and at a pretty good pace for only riding over 60 miles for about probably 5 or 6 weeks now. Just going to keep building this mileage until it becomes easy. Well, easy. So let's go.